Welcome to the Rott and Scob Show. I'm Rob. This is Scott.
What up?
At least as far as I know. I haven't really checked his ID.
Just walked in off the street.
We are here to shock and amaze you. Probably more like offend you, but
Either way, we're going to have a lot of fun.
yeah.
This has been, what has this been? Rob, this has been probably almost 7 years in the making. This episode right here.
Yeah, probably. And there's been a bunch of people who are just like, man, you guys should just have your own talk show.
Yeah. What are you guys doing here? And along the way, we met some pretty good friends, didn't we? I like this guy here. Like, who's this guy at the desk here?
Pretty good friends. Is that what you're about to say?
Distinguished as fuck. Look at that face. We love Larry. Larry loves us. We said, hey, come along for the ride here. Welcome to the Scott and Rob and Scott, Rott and Scob. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're here. And, I hear a couple things from Rob, after knowing him for a little bit, things about South Florida. You from South Florida, Rob? Originally, or?
And technically, I was born in New York.
Figuratively, or?
No, technically.
Oh, technically. Okay.
Like physically.
Oh, like in reality.
Technically.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was born in New York. I moved down, but I lived most of my life, yeah. South
Wait a
Florida.
minute. You were born in
Rob's
New
New
York.
Yorker, man.
Yeah.
That explains everything.
Rob's a fucking
Explains
New Yorker.
everything.
That explains.
What does that statement mean?
everything.
I was there only until I was about 3 years old. When we moved to Florida, I was really raised in Florida. That's just a transplant in the Northeast for the most part. At least on the East Coast of Florida, South Florida. Everybody's
the snowbirds and whatnot.
yeah, there are very few people that you meet. You're like, yeah, I'm a native right here from Florida. It's like, no.
No, you're not.
Everybody's from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, like all the Northeast.
Jersey. Well, it's a Jersey thing. That's why.
But you go on the West Coast of Florida, in South Florida, Fort Myers and everything, then everybody's from the Midwest. It's like they just took 75 all the way down.
And eventually,
They're like, fuck it. I'm just going to stop when I get to the ocean.
eventually hit the ocean, right? Yeah.
That's pretty funny. You guys are fucking hysterical so far.
Well, I mean, this is what it is.
I feel like he's calling the FWL moment.
I think we need an FWL graphic. We need an FWL graphic.
We need an FW.
Is there a producer that can roll an FWL graphic? If for those of you that don't know, that's a fuck with Larry moment. Okay, because Larry opens these moments up to himself. There it is.
Oh, now you're
He
blaming
invites
it on me.
invites these in.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that mustache. Tell me he doesn't invite these in. People,
we could
you
cut
tell
that
me.
mustache,
People,
but
you
we're
tell
not.
me right now. Me and Rob Scob here. Okay. All right.
Scob.
You tell me.
You
Okay.
don't even know who you're talking to.
You even know what that word means?
Scob.
Scob.
You guys have
You know
no
what?
idea what you're doing.
I don't, but I think you told me what it meant, right?
Yeah.
Did you tell me what it meant?
Yeah.
What does it mean again? Scab?
Larry, pull up the Urban Dictionary. Scob.
It's even in
It
the
just
Urban
happened
Dictionary.
to be.
There you go.
Yeah, it just happened to be
Yeah.
in there.
Oh, yeah, look at
Yeah,
that.
Larry, you're reading that out?
Scob.
Zoom in on that, Larry.
Zoom in on it. You can't read it?
I see something in bold blue
No,
that
I
says
can't.
that
Not from over here.
blows.
It's not like I got a teleprompter. We're not like,
So, let me just go ahead and spell this out for you.
You can spell.
It's pronounced Scob.
I think he's kicking us out.
Scob.
Acronym for
It's a skosh.
Scary Obsessive Brain.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, scroll
the
up
part
a
of
little
your
bit there.
brain that blows things up.
That blows.
That
I like how
blows.
they highlight that blows.
in bold.
Hey.
Is that the only definition? What else we got in there?
Well, look at how it's used in a sentence up there for that
Well,
definition.
this is the second one.
I'm seeing budgie, mood, emotion. What's that one?
Yeah. Yeah. What does that say?
That's another
So,
word. Another word for budgie. He's a budgie.
Stop being so scobby.
Yeah, don't be a fucking.
The guy was a total scob.
I couldn't sleep because the Scob was making so much fucking noise. That's the sentence.
What was this? The Rotten Larry show or what's going on here?
Oh, that's going on.
Yeah. Huh? We got that FWL graphic we can roll again.
We could have it, but hey. I don't
Well-
know, Scott. Where is it?
Well, yeah, so there you go, Scob and Rob from South Florida. Hey, I heard there's some good surfing down there, Rob. You do any
No.
surfing down there or no?
There's not really great surfing down there.
There's surfing, just not great surfing.
Yeah. Once in a blue moon, though, it comes across pretty good. 91, December-ish? Or no. 91 was the Halloween swell that came down through there. And it was like a nor'easter went off the coast in the upper northeast and just pumped a storm set of waves mixed in with a hurricane that came up. And it just combined and created this massive low pressure system that just pumped waves. Like usually the Atlantic East Coast side does not see waves like that.
That's what I was thinking. Like, you don't really hear of big waves on the East Coast, man.
No, but
I've never heard that.
It was so far up north in the ocean that it was like there would be huge lulls between the sets. Like when I first got down to the beach, there would be a bunch of guys out there. They're surfing like, maybe 6 foot. It looks really good. And you're like, wow, it looks like it's bombing. This is going to be great. And you see these couple of guys who are just way far out there. And you're like, what the hell are they doing? Waiting on a tsunami?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the first wave of the set roll through. And you're like, whoa,
They're the
that's
first ones
really
there.
big. And you see everybody from the inside, they look like ants. They're just scrambling to get further out because they know they're going to get pummeled from what's coming in. Yeah, that's the biggest that I've ever seen in Florida, I think. I just remember at the Dania Pier breaking and like touching the bottom of the pier itself. And I was just like, wow, that's not something you see here.
So would you say that's like maybe a month out of one of the years of the 50-year storm that goes through Bells Beach?
Yeah.
Would you say that?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, that was
Only
not quite 50.
Hey, man, only half a millennium, man. Bells Beach, bro.
I-
So are we talking Cocoa Beach, or where are we talking your
No, that well, lots of times when you were there, yeah, you had to ride. If you were living in South Florida, you had to drive 2 counties up, before you can get to decent surf, or at least surf spots that were fairly
So farther
decent.
north on the coast is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
when
right?
the further south, as the state kind of comes back, from the Cape, the surf gets kind of worse and worse because of the angle at which I guess that the waves would come in or the pressure would come in. It can be good in like Cocoa Beach or like, any of the Space Coast beaches up in that area. It can be really good there and just like nothing down south.
Now, when you go to the beach and you're surfing, right? We're talking
Yeah.
like, what, early 90s? When are you surfing there?
Well, I started when I was a kid in like 8th grade and just kind of on and off. So let me see that.
80s surfing.
Yeah, late 80s, mid to late 80s and early 90s.
So when you start driving,
Yes, this is a Gen X
wait,
person you're talking to.
Where were you driving?
I was not driving at that time. First, when I first started,
When you first started driving,
when I first started,
surfboard. I'm seeing Rob surfboard on what? Headed to the beach.
I was never on. I didn't put racks on. I just put them in the back seat.
Stuck out the back?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Or when I had the Volkswagen van that just stuff went
The
just inside.
Volkswagen, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I bet there was a lot of jumping in and out of the Volkswagen.
Und ja. Da da da. Boom boom boom. Boom, boom. Can I do that? Can I do that jingle? Is that? Can I get sued here? What the hell's going on?
You're probably gonna get
I
sued.
might get sued. The algorithms
If you
might
didn't
pick
get-
that up, actually. Right? The censorship. I'm sorry, the political correctness algorithms to protect us from ourselves. Anyway, Rob, Volkswagen, bus headed to the beach.
Oh yeah. So I mean, yeah. Of course, you'd always want to go to the local area first. That's a given. But lots of times you just have to drive further up coast to really get some decent surf. But I mean, it's nothing compared to the other places on the west coast of the United States. And even downward into the Central American countries there.
I ask because I really don't know anything other than the movie Point Break.
Well, okay.
When you talk
Well,
about surfing, that's my only frame of reference here. I mean,
No, man.
I'm a friggin' millennial.
Well, here's the
I'm on
thing.
I'm on the upper echelon of the millennialness.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Larry refers to me as
When you're hunting surf,
you know the oldest.
millennial.
when you're hunting surf, you literally have to do like a hunt when you're in Florida. The guys on the West Coast, they get a lot better surf more often. Not necessarily like they get it all, we get nothing, but they do get a lot. You know, it's more consistent. But you become a little bit of a weather person when you're weather person. You know, that's a correct. way to use it.
Like an investigator or like a
No, you
follower,
you
or-
become.
like, what are you talking about?
Well, you start following like meteorology stuff.
Is this a collective ideology
and
of
pre-
weather or
yes, pretty
what's
much.
going on? Okay, all right.
There used to be this call that we could make. God, my friend Todd Phillips there, he would know. He would know he probably still knows the number. You
Let's get him on the phone. Can we call Todd?
Hey.
Let's get Todd. We'll have him call into the show. Larry, let's get Todd on the.
What's Todd's number?
So
Todd
Todd,
Phillips, look him up, man. Come on.
yeah, there can't be too many
Dude,
Phillips
Todd
in the
Phillips.
dictionary.
I mean, how common is
How
that?
many Phillips do you think there is in the dictionary?
Oh, yeah,
Come on.
Let me get right
Just
on
make it happen.
It's just stand by, guys.
What kind of a producer are you?
Are we going to produce something over there at the
Yeah,
table?
yeah.
Or
Yeah, that's
are we
kind
just
of
going to.
you
What are
know
we going to do?
goes along with the word producer to produce something.
You did not submit the proper paperwork to
Well.
introduce any people to your show.
Well, you know.
Oh, great.
Well, here's the introduction.
What's the paperwork?
Welcome to
Welcome to.
Huston, Canada.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you roll our sponsor there?
Oh yeah, you know what? Good time to roll the sponsor. Good idea.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
Larry, today.
At some point, Larry.
Yeah. Produce, man. Fucking produce. Oh, wrong one. There you go.
It'd be nice if we could see the whole clip. Not just a part of the clip.
Yes.
Oh, home of bacon.
We're fortunate to get these sponsors.
Pancakes.
Everyone loves bacon pancakes.
Who
Who doesn't love bacon?
I mean,
and who doesn't
and-
love pancakes?
And together?
Yeah.
I mean,
I sound like that whole deal that
it's like a gift from Gad.
What
Craig Gass did, you know, where he was doing the impressions of what's his name, Gene Simmons or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was the
Larry does a good Gene Simmons.
it was the
Gene
phrase.
Simmons.
It was the phrase that he said when he's supposed to be describing Kiss, and he's like, yeah, it's like steak and ice cream. Everybody loves steak. Everybody loves ice cream.
Can we get Gene Simmons on the phone?
Kiss is
Can
like
we
steak and
get
ice cream.
Gene Simmons on the phone? This
Gene-
is Gene.
I think
Simmons
he's kind of a little
Kiss.
over.
I just want to ask
Simmons.
Gene if I want to get a Kiss toilet.
Well, hey,
Do we have a link available for a Kiss
Scott,
toilet?
that's a good thing you asked that. You can go to kiss.com and get all of our bullshit.
Larry is now officially doing a cheap ripoff of Craig Gass.
Wow.
A little bit.
I
A
put,
little
I
bit.
put in a little effort. You
Yeah,
got shit all
you're
over.
offended.
Thanks a
You
lot.
were producing.
No,
it just wasn't that great.
It was good. It was good. It was good. Larry did a good job.
Whatever.
It was a good job. But you know, he also does a funny impression
Both
of
you guys
when he was
suck,
telling
by the
the story where he was living with Eddie Van Halen was pretty funny.
Oh
That whole
yeah,
bit,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he comes up and he's like, "Hey, man, what's going on? hey, you stay with me a couple days. We need a couple months. You know, just
Yeah.
very animated.
Yeah.
And you know, it's things like that to where this is when Larry says, you know, it'd be nice if we had a clip, right? Like when you guys are talking about that kind of stuff, like you
Yeah,
could
but,
roll a clip
dude,
or
you get-
something, you know,
want
like
a clip
You
of
can't
this
roll
shit?
the clip without permission to
I
roll
know,
that clip.
I know, you know. You know? So
I
we can
don't know.
talk
People
about.
are gonna let you do that
we
stuff.
can talk about the clip, you know. I mean, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with a little self promotion. You see some of the swag, which is available currently on
Swag.
demand. There might be a little back order. We'll get it to you as soon as possible.
One gack I got from you guys was this.
Yeah, it's the only way we can get you to come out here, man.
Yeah. I know.
We got it.
Hey, there's a T-shirt in it, Rob. Come on.
Rob, t-shirt.
T-shirt.
And so it begins. I think so far we're not off to a bad start. I love hearing about.
No, we're
Rob-
off to a tremendously
Yeah.
horrible start.
It's-
Don't
it's
sell
pretty bad.
yourself short.
No, we're a tremendous slouch.
Yeah.
But the whole surfing thing was funny was because one of the things when I first met Rob, one of the first things we started to movie quote, and I know there's a lot of people out there that movie quote, right? I mean, you could even say, you have your own language. It's like its own dialect, right?
Yeah.
When you speak in movie quotes, right?
Well, when you sync up with somebody who's seen a lot of the same movies,
a lot of
knows,
bad movies, too,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like, and those
really,
are the best ones.
yeah, yeah, like the really old bad movies, and some of them that were old that were really like good, but I just didn't gain the popularity that you would figure that they would have. Like, I was quoting some stuff from that movie with Val Kilmer in it back in the '80s, Real Genius.
Oh,
You
yeah,
ever seen that
classic,
one?
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, quote. I was quoting his quote of what he was quoting. Yeah, I think that's right.
Quotable?
Hey, he gets in there and he goes, I quote Socrates when he says, I drink what? I always found that it's such a small little joke through the dialogue that goes in, but it was just money.
You know, when good writing was good writing. Okay? And
Hey,
some of the best 80s movies that are terrible are some of the best writing.
Okay.
You know?
I'm
And here's the
I'm
thing.
getting up in the years now. I'm getting older. That's what I like
Hey,
to say.
A
you know
little
what?
bit older,
I
a
gotta
little bit
interrupt here for
wiser.
a second.
Yeah.
I gotta interrupt here for a second. I found a picture of you two when you were younger. Hang on.
Oh, let's roll it, yeah.
Here we go. Larry comedy.
Ah, yeah.
Slightly injected.
Nice. There it
Yeah.
is. It's kind of cut off. No problem. No, we'll take that.
Oh man, yeah. The mic took a dump, man.
I mean, you know, if I was to say on the level of you know sucks to great, that sucked.
On a scale from 1 to shit, that was complete shit.
Well, and you know what's funny is when you hear about surfing, right? I mean, I remember I was like
was like the same-
surfing, dude. I was like, nah, man.
Yeah, but
I came from Baltimore. I said, there's no surfing in Baltimore, bro. You know,
Yeah, it's like
you know,
kind of
we-
like
we-
surfing in the Hudson
go
in
to
New York.
Yeah, we go to Ocean City. We
there
gotta
was a
drive
time
3
when
hours.
they've actually cleaned up a lot with that city, but there was a time when the Hudson was like, we were out. My cousin who lived in New York, and he wanted me to take him out on his boat. This is like years ago. I was younger. I was probably like maybe 16 or so, maybe. I don't remember how old I was, but he goes to take us out on his boat, and he's like, yeah. He was putting the new license numbers that had been wearing off on his license on his boat. He was putting the new one on, right? And so he's trying to scrape off the old sticker. And he's going to scrape off the old sticker, and it's he's using a razor blade or whatever. And I was kind of just sitting there talking with him, and he dropped it and went in the water. And a razor blade's shiny. Mm-hmm. I can tell you how dirty it is, how murky the water is. It just goes. You see a flash from the reflection from the sun, and it goes, and it was gone. It was like it went into this ether. It was like this black hole. It was just poof, gone.
Something underneath pulled it in.
Yeah. No, and there was like, yeah, we're gonna go out, we're gonna go ski, and I'm like, I ain't getting in that water. Meanwhile, I was raised in Florida. It's like water's all blue, nice, and it was like you see that, and you're like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
When you're young, when you're younger, then later, you met a bunch of people. We start going camping and stuff, and camping in the woods in Florida and stuff. But yeah, you get up around Peace River and stuff, move sediment, so the water is murky. But that was a different kind of murky. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was just like, yeah. That,
is it like?
I don't know if I want to get in that water.
It sounds
I guess that sounds a little Florida snobby.
When I got down
don't know.
here, the Chattahoochee was one of the things that people were like,
Florida,
whoa.
Wait, hey, Florida scabby.
She got Florida scab. Yeah, the hooch is what I hear is you don't want to get in, unless you're wrapped up tight, like a toiga. I don't know if that's true or not. Larry, do you know anything about the Chattahoochee? I mean, is it like filled with things that you probably don't want to go swimming at any part of that river?
Chattahoochee, well, just considering where it's being derived from, right?
Where exactly is that?
Yeah, where is that?
If you're upper Chattahoochee is probably way better than lower Chattahoochee because once it hits Lake Lanier,
because it's all upper and stuff. Like
Lake
it thinks
Lanier
it's all uppity up there with its upness and stuff. Is that?
I'm not sure what you're trying to do right now.
The Lake Lanier. Go ahead.
Right.
Explain Lake Lanier.
But Lake Lanier, it was a city that was flooded by the Corps of Engineers. They dammed it up and just covered the whole.
It sounds like they're good at their engineering job if they flooded a whole fucking town.
They flooded it.
Yeah. It's a Corps of Engineers that did this. Were they Army engineers? Okay. Just a core.
No, it's always the bean
Is that
count.
like a
No,
core?
you can't blame an engineer.
Is that-
You know it's a bean counter.
What is a
Funding
core?
dried
Is that
up,
more than a
something.
bunch?
It's
Or
like a I imagine it's kind of like what's a shitload or a
yeah.
fuck ton or
Yeah, fuck ton. Yeah, but you got to go to metric fuck ton. That's a
Metric,
base
yeah.
10 fuck ton.
Yeah, well, that's it's like Royale with cheese kind of thing, right? Right? It's like la fuck ton or something, something like that.
Did you just say la fuck done? It's a la fuck done, like Royale.
Hey
with
man,
cheese.
I can't stop the stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
It just streams, bro. Like much of what we do at Drop Shot is we
Definitely-
stream.
It's definitely
Yeah.
streaming.
We do this. This is one of the things that we do, right,
Yeah,
Larry?
This is the key where you throw up our logo and we go
you
like
kind of
this with
throw
our
a little
hands,
promo in and say,
and
Drop
it looks
Shot
like
Studio.
we're holding the logo.
We we stream and we produce content.
Well, some of us.
poorly produced, but produced nonetheless. So it's there. It's out there in the ether.
And
Hey, you're lucky you're getting live switching, so just deal with
Yeah.
it.
I've got the iPad right here. I mean, you will get outsourced.
Well, first
Like
of all,
that,
you
yeah.
don't even know how to log into that iPad.
Oh, I do.
an iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Get the expensive stuff over here.
Sent iPad.
No,
yeah.
Yes.
no. It's a what?
To no expense.
Oh,
Just
I thought you said cent.
Sent iPad.
I was like, Linux
Yeah,
Cent,
no,
Linux
yeah.
Cent is dead.
Yeah. What do you think I'm talking about? It's CentOS on an iPad. Of course, that's what I'm talking about. What did you guys think I was talking about?
I'm sorry, man. That's all I thought of.
Wait. Did you read this? You didn't read the user agreement? You didn't know what you're signing up
Oh
for?
no, you're on the beta program now. The highly cutting edge stuff that we use to experiment on you for free.
One of the other things I'll bring up is, Rob and I, we are both the youngest in our family.
Oh, I didn't know you were the youngest. Yeah, well, I got to go back to the surfing thing because,
Dude.
well, it was the
surfing,
same.
dude.
Whoa, sorry,
Change it.
I'm just jumping into the mic there and clipping us,
Change your life, bro.
dude. It was the same way for me when you started talking about the NASCAR thing, right? And
Oh,
driving and racing and stuff.
Go-karts and
Yeah, as a
cars.
kid.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that whole thing is where, like, growing up, that's what we watched, man. I mean, we had football.
Yeah.
We watched baseball, right? But, I mean, it was, we watched racing.
Yeah,
Drag racing, like circle track racing, and just anything that burned some sort of petroleum fuel and charred up rubber marbles on the asphalt and all
Spit it all around.
all of it, and I don't know how many quote unquote tree huggers may feel differently about that today, but I mean it's something that is to take in, man, and I grew up on those fumes, man, so. Being able to get into a machine that you kind of built, or you worked closely with someone who did build it to understand the mechanics of it. That's I guess that's the most interesting technical part of it is the mechanics of how it all works. And as the cars or the go-karts get bigger, they become cars, and then next thing you know, you're breaking down.
Yeah, but I mean, even going back to the level of the carts of what you're talking about. What's funny is the parts that people don't think about racing is what, after talking with you, that I started thinking definitely more about was like the stuff like, winning a race is not necessarily just driving the best, but like being able to swap your equipment out if you need anything that goes wrong with the carts, the extras that you need on the side, to be able to repair and get it back up on the track to at least place. And that point spread, and it's like there's more to it. Like it's just people like, hey man, there's just people going around left in a circle. It's like, yeah, dude, okay, you say that, but I mean, there's a lot more to winning a race than just somebody driving, right?
I completely agree.
I mean,
well, and there's a consistency element there too, right? Like, so when you talk about sporting events and some of the criticism growing up, people would say, "Oh, it's not a sport," right? They say, "Oh, what are you talking about? That's, I mean, the go-kart's doing all the work, right? Like that kind of shit."
Well,
what
are the qualifications for something to be a sport?
Yeah, well, exactly.
I mean, actually, what is it?
I think there has to be a competitive element, right? And I think there has to be some some sort of team.
So if we
element,
were
right?
playing,
So think about it. If it's a sport and we're playing, yeah, exactly.
if we were playing, paper football there,
Yeah,
you know,
you can make that a sport, man. Think about
two
it.
guys, you're competitive.
Think about something like horseshoes, man. Think about, cornhole.
I don't know if
Right.
that's too general of a quote.
Cornhole. Yeah, but I mean,
man.
but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, do you consider a turntable a musical instrument, right? I've heard a debate between no, it's not a musical instrument. You play someone else's music on it. But I've also seen people play or use this thing and play it like an instrument, right? So to where they're not actually using it the way that it was intended. They've created something new from it, and that's the other part of it is when something gets jacked up, doesn't work, you're in the heat of the moment, you got to get that shit going, right? And whatever you got around you, you got to make it work. And sometimes it doesn't work. It's broke. You go home, you pack your shit up and you leave and you go, all right, let's try it again next week or next month, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Or what did I get from that, right?
Well, what did I learn from it,
Yeah.
A lot of times, man, the tempers take over. You're talking
Everybody's been there.
110-degree days, and it's the fucking track is hot, dude. You can just see this heat steaming off this damn thing. It's
Yeah.
you
So highly
But it's
competitive, a
intense.
lot of competitors. It's not like you're just you and me competing against each other.
Yeah.
It's you got a field full of people.
Well, I think
Everyone's
people that are specialized in a certain, they're very good at a certain thing, right? And that thing is something that people want to watch, right, or participate in some way.
right.
That kind of is how the sport is the way I look at it is, a bunch of moonshiners created NASCAR, right? I mean,
Actually, through the areas where we live,
dude, down where you were.
yeah,
Daytona Beach, bro. Yeah, and it's funny that they're drilling down in there and cutting it up, right, to make this track, and they get to a point where they're in the middle and they're like, went a little too far. Yeah, the track's gonna start here. Yeah, we can't go over here. No, this is too shallow here. And I think that's why there's a little pond, if I remember the history of that correctly, in the center of the track.
yeah, that might be. I didn't know a lot, even though my two brothers have always been into NASCAR. I mean, those two guys are, not official like ASCE certified mechanics. Actually, I don't know if my brother Bruce ever did something like that, but they, that's what they did. When I was a kid growing up, I watched those guys who were, 10, 11 years older than me. I watched them work on their cars. That's what they were into. So it was natural being the younger brother. That's kind of what I wanted to do too, Yeah. So they helped me
What are
out.
you guys doing? Hey, I want to do it too. Hey, give me a wrench.
They helped me out a lot in that way. I don't put a candlestick to their skill set in the field, but I can fix my own shit. At least some shit.
Yeah.
Some shit. It's like really in the end, and I'm like weighing it. Like, okay, do I fix this, or do I pay someone else to fix it? Well, do I need any specialized tools?
Question number one.
And how often am I ever going to use that tool again?
Sometimes for me, it's what is closest to my hand right now. That pencil, I know I'm going to break that lead.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right, do I got a pen anywhere?
Yeah.
All right, I got to go upstairs. And then from there, it's like, oh, actually, no, I'm going to have to purchase a $175 tool to be actually to be able to do this without breaking anything else. Right?
Yeah.
Then you weigh the odds. Is it worth it? Maybe I could make something.
I've
get
been
it
around.
done.
I've been around to do the things that are a little bit of the shade tree, what they refer to as a shade tree mechanic. But that's kind of what I was. Volkswagens. I've swapped out motors on Volkswagens, and you're jacking up the body, and you got a jack underneath the engine. It's only 4 bolts to pull the engine.
The body likes to get jacked. Do you need to jack the body? What's the first step again?
Jacking the body.
We jack the body.
Jack.
All right.
Jack.
All right.
No, but you got to hold that motor up. You actually end up lifting the car for the bugs, and even the van too. You end up lifting the body up over it, and then you lower it down on the engine down on the jack and roll that out under. It's really at least a 2-man job. I've done it with that's it, 2 men. I've never done it by myself.
So 2-man job.
Jacking.
Volkswagen.
Jacking the engine.
Jack the body.
And the engine.
And the engine. Got it.
2 jacks. Not just
Yeah.
one.
I grew up in a GM fam, right?
Yeah.
Primarily Chevy, right?
Yeah.
I have owned
My two
Pontiac
brothers were
and a Hyundai in my life. though.
We're Dodge Mopar guys.
Mopar, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I had a Jeep. You remember the Jeep?
Yeah. My brother had
the
a
Jeep.
68 Dodge Charger. 68's the round taillights, not the Dukes of Hazzard square taillights. But yeah, they after he had that car just ran so well on the street as a regular everyday street rod. It was just geared really low. I mean, for nothing but torque, and there were some modifications that were done to it, but not a tremendous amount. And that car just ran like a scolded dog. I mean, he would just. The stories your brother telling you, like passing people laying rubber, dude. Like that's unreal. You know, like that's. Yeah, because that's not what you want to do. I mean, obviously, you don't want to throw down a big smoke screen and laying down rubber, right? You want to just take off. But I mean, that car had wider series tires, but it really needed a whole new rim set and everything else like that for that car, and really widen it out because it was grabbing really well. But I mean, you're talking about 411s. You drive on the highway with
411, 412s.
Oh, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Now, it's a gear ratio. Car guys would know what I was saying. Technically, I don't know what I'm saying, but but it was 410s. When you get them out on the highway, they're real low torque, right? And you get them out on the highway, and those things just, they whine. I mean, you're cranking the RPMs just to do the speed limit. So a lot of guys don't, if you're going to use that car day to day, and you're going places in it, you wouldn't want those kind of gear ratio or whatever. But yeah, they were into their cars, so that's how I got some mechanical background. And kind of like construction when I was a kid and stuff too. So
Dirt bikes or anything? You had some dirt bikes, didn't you?
ATC. Not too much on the dirt bikes, more ATCs. Yeah.
ATCs? Okay.
Yeah, I was big in Florida because you got mud everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you go, what's funny is, you go to the beach, but then you go out west, and then you hit the Everglades, which is kind of almost where I live.
So are you saying ATC or are you saying ATV?
ATC is what it was originally called.
ATC.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ultra. I forget what that stood for. ATC, but it was a Honda ATC
If
185.
only we had something that we could use to search for that.
There's that voice again.
Yes.
Yes, Satan.
I sit over here and I get lost.
Oh, Larry! Hey, I forgot you were there. What's going on, man?
It's the fucking G
what the
bear.
hell's going on at the desk over there, dude? Are you like hammering away at the keyboard? Chomping?
He's looking up something.
He's chomping at the keyboard?
What that stands for, Rob, is Air Traffic Control, ATC. Is that it? Is that the one?
Oh,
Air
man.
traffic control.
I thought Larry was going to order lunch or something. Damn it. Sorry, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Where's that FWL graphic? We got that graphic. Let's roll that graphic. Well, this is why we're here.
Larry, ladies and gentlemen.
This is why we're here.
Our personal database, Larry.
This is why we're here.
Larry was a database.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we'd be re-indexing by now at least 3 or 4 times
Yeah, probably.
for the geek joke moment.
Yeah, man. Look, slinging some wrenches, it's always good, man. I've always enjoyed it. I work on my own cars, man. Like, unless I got to buy some god awful expensive tool, I can't rent it for something that's reasonable. Do it myself.
I will generally myself too, just because I'm poor and I really can't afford to take it to somebody else to
It's a
fix it.
necessity.
That's the reality of the whole thing. But yeah, of course I'm gonna work.
Hey,
on
do you
my
got a
car.
Volkswagen now? You do, don't you?
Yeah.
You
Got a
still
bug
got
now.
that bug, don't you?
Not the original bugs that I had. I had 71s and 74 Beetles and Super Beetle. I had a 71 pop-up Westphalia. A nice little canvas pop-up.
Not an Eastphalia, Westphalia.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That was a cool van, man. I had a lot of good times in that van. I was going to college when I had that van.
You think it's one of those moments where you need the bubble graphic, right? It's like, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Lots of good times.
Good times. Good times.
Fun
But yeah,
had by all.
So this is what drives.
those are the
Rob
Volkswagens.
drives
But today
now.
I've got a
Oh, hey, yeah.
an older 2005 Volkswagen Beetle. That is not a 2005 Volkswagen Beetle.
But it looks exactly like the one.
No,
it's-
it does
it's
not.
yellow.
No, it does not. I have round front floodlights. There is no grill that wraps completely around
This
like
is
that.
horrible. Your picture.
That's a much. That's a like a 2012.
And it doesn't even matter.
Where did you get
It
that
is.
picture?
That's like a 2012, Larry.
It doesn't even matter.
Where'd you get that picture?
Yeah, it does matter
Larry,
because they don't.
show us your mustache. Come on. Let's see it. Come on.
It,
Show it.
You don't come across those diesels. Oh.
Diesel.
The thing's a diesel, man. Sounds like a little sewing machine when it runs.
It looks
It'll run
it looks
forever,
like
though.
It's actually a model, not even a full size car.
It'll run
It's a
forever,
model.
though.
It's a model.
It's a model.
It's a model, you know.
Doesn't matter.
He's no sponsor or affiliated with us in any way, shape, or form, but there's this guy, Smith or Smithy. That,
Smythe?
I don't remember.
Smithy?
See, if our
Swami?
database could work
Swami?
faster,
Swami?
he could look him up. He makes a kit for those Beetles to make them into like a small little like hot rod truck, like pickup truck.
No shit.
Yeah, man. It actually looks pretty cool. I was like, damn, that's not bad.
I'd love to see a Beetle with some stacks on it, man. Smokestacks.
Smokestacks and a pickup bed.
Pick up,
smokestack.
yeah, that'd be cool as shit.
Just take
dude.
the exhaust and run it straight up.
Fucking lift kit like a foot high off it, you know. Just, I mean, be like a little, you know,
Baja.
dune buggy or some shit, you know. Probably turn it into one. You know,
There's a
custom
couple of
engineering.
people who've done it with those newer ones, but with the diesel motors in them. You know, because the diesel motor is, well, it's just a much better lasting. It's got a lot more raw
I saw a Prius.
torque and power.
Somebody had a Prius online that had that.
Had a lifted motor?
Yeah, no, but like fucking just lifted in general, giant, just absolutely, just huge fucking monster truck.
A what?
Monster truck, fucking
A Prius?
a Prius. Yeah, absolutely. I shit you not.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, we'll have to grab that, and that'll be a little. Hey, you know what? We'll put a pin in that. Come back to that.
Yeah, come back to that.
Yeah.
Once our database catches up.
Yeah. We're gonna
We'll come
re-index.
back
It's
to
that
that.
solar index.
All he has to do is get, hey, I got that
Freaking
last thing you talked about
Pinterest.
20 minutes ago.
Oh, look!
Oh,
I think
yeah.
Larry just found.
He was
it.
like,
Did Larry
"This is
find
where
it?
Larry's going to give
I
us a
think-
speech
I
on
think
on
Larry
how we
found
should
it.
have
Look.
how we should have planned
You
better."
gotta show this pic, man. This thing is magical.
What is? Go for it.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that just looks like a Prius photoshopped on top of something. That's all that is. That's a bullshit picture, but it's funny looking. It's funny as hell. That is pretty funny.
Oh yeah, no,
I
that Prius, man, that's the best looking Prius I've ever seen, man. I mean, I want it.
Yeah, man.
How much does it cost? Otherwise, yeah, I'm a Chevy guy, man. I'm driving the Chevy truck,
Yeah.
right? GMC.
Nah, I've always liked Volkswagens, and it was just, I had to get something with my son with his car, and I had to get something that was, I just needed something to get back and forth to where
Hey, Scott,
to the
here's another
facility
example
in
of
which
your
I work
Prius.
at, which none of us will mention.
Which will remain nameless for
Yes.
now, folks. We cannot bring that up.
I just needed
Besides drop
transportation back and forth, and something that would cost me the least amount of money to get back and forth. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
We call that from where I'm from originally. Call that beater, bro. You need a beater.
Yeah.
Not you don't need to beat her. I just want to clarify. I'm not saying you need to beat her.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's a beater.
Yeah.
Right? Some people call it a hoopty.
Hoopty. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard beater. I've heard
They used to have the one guy who used to make those. They used to call them hoop rods back in the 70s.
temp
Steve
temp
Hoop.
transport. I've ever heard it referred to as temp transport. Yeah. I just bought this car for like $500.
Yeah.
It's temp transport.
I've also heard AB.
Yeah. AB. Yeah.
AB.
Yeah.
Right, not APB, but AB.
Yeah.
I guess to get you from A to B.
Yeah.
Fuck the rest of them to Z. We don't need those. A
Do
to
you ever
B.
go back from B to A?
A to B, man?
Oh,
No,
so
there's
it's only
nothing
A to B.
past
Well,
B.
after A to B, is it like a variable? Whereas once you've used it, it's gone, or is it like a variable? It just always stays that
It's a
way.
loop.
Because then you'd have to go B to, and then you'd have to go B to A at some point.
It's a while loop.
Oh, So the minute you get to B,
It just goes back to A.
it breaks out of the loop.
Yeah, no, it just goes back to A. It's looking for A to get out of the loop. So it goes to A to get out of the loop, and A's like, I got to go to B to get out of the loop.
That's the only way out.
I think they call it the circle jerk, something like that.
Yeah, something.
But transportation.
The jerking of the circle.
Yeah, transportation, and you're at the stage now with your kids to where you've got one driving, right? Your son.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Yeah, and Larry's got a few driving right now.
All of them are driving.
All of them are driving.
All of them are driving.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you planning on winning the lottery next week so you can pay the insurance bill for that?
I'm
Jesus
sitting back
Christ.
watching you guys, and I'm taking it all in. That's all I'm saying.
Well, no
No.
lottery. I'm trying,
But not to pay the insurance bill. Because I'll tell you what, that is something that definitely makes it.
Are we talking a serious jump? You put your kids on there?
Yeah, it's a bit of a sticker shock. Yeah.
So that's when the insurance company goes, oh, whoa. You want to add your kid? Whoa, wait a second. Yeah, okay, come on. No, you can't stay in this line. Move over to this line
Scott,
right
what are
here.
you paying right now for your insurance?
Man, if I'd have to check, man, to be honest, I think it's like
you know what?
$220 or $230 a month or something like that.
Double that.
Yeah.
As soon as your first kid hits a driver's license.
Yeah.
Double that.
Yeah.
You put them in a car, triple it.
Yeah,
Jesus.
and even worse, if you put them in a car that's still you're still making payments on. Yeah, so
Even
it has to
worse.
have the full coverage on it.
Yeah, you can't get by
They're
with
just like
the minimal shit.
they're just like yeah, that's the
Yeah.
car you got to let him drive. Oh yeah, it's the safest. That's the one that he should be driving because it's like, and we as a side effect get the most money for that one.
Never mind that. The kid's safe with us.
Yeah,
Because,
That-
of course,
I'm not going to
teenagers
say who
don't
I'm
have
getting the
any
coverage
accidents
from.
At all.
You
but,
shouldn't. Yeah.
Well, no, they're not paying us any money. They're not going to get anything.
You know what? Say it anyway. Fuck it.
No, I'm not saying it. But the Beetle is like next to nothing to insure. Of course, I'm the only driver on that. But the vehicle I'm still making a payment on, and him being on that, whew, yeah, it was a bit of a sticker shock at first. But here's the thing, though. In the end, he's a good kid. He deserves it. He totally deserves it. He's just an awesome person. Even if he wasn't my kid, I'd want to be friends with him because he's just an awesome person. As he's becoming an adult, good guy.
See, that's awesome. Yeah, as you get older, I think there's some
If you can
valuable
like
lessons
them,
there, right?
yeah.
When your kids are young,
If you can
sometime-
step away from the bias of
Of them
of them not be them being your children, it's like
Right.
even if it was a little bastard, I'd still like him.
Well, I think
well,
as,
maybe not like him, but have to
as
love
they get
him.
older, you got to crack them in the ass a little bit, right? And then when they
Older.
get, I mean, as they grow up, when they're young,
I was going to say there's just a certain point where it's like,
well, there's a point where you just talk to them, man.
yeah, well, yeah, you help them understand the best that you can.
Yeah.
You're left with the tools. You're kind of a remnant, a little bit of your parents, and maybe you learn some other stuff along the way. You change the formula, tweak it a little bit, do something a little bit different, or maybe radically different. Who knows? But yeah, and they'll be different because of that. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the surfing thing. It's almost like waves throughout time, right? It's
The waves of existence.
echoes of the people who existed before.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
but
The right kind of eyes, the right time. You could see where the wave broke.
yeah. I mean, we're products of our environment and the people who were in control of us when we were children.
I
And I'll say that word, control.
products. It's probably suiting in the current environment that we find ourselves in these days of society.
Okay, so being the generation in which my parents came from, it was funny when you grow up, saying things like, Dad, we live in a free country, so I should be able to, like this. And he goes, I don't have to hear what you have to say because in my house it's a dictatorship and I'm the dictator. I was just like, whoa, okay.
This is the kingdom of dad.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that,
Yeah.
Robbie, listen here,
It's
Robbie.
it's from such an older generation that just they had a different set of ideologies and things changed, over time. Who am I to judge what's right? Solely not me, that's for sure. I humble before your court
Mm-hmm.
of judgment on everyone around us.
Well, that's where it started, wasn't it? Judgment. You know, they talk about that in V for Vendetta.
You ever hear that by here you go. Let me just date myself here. You ever hear that? You ever hear that song "Judgment Night" from the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You talking about the one?
Biohazard and Onyx.
The one with what's his Leary, Dennis Leary, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
when
Jeremy
he's
Piven. Yeah,
yeah, when he's killing that one guy. You know what I hate? I hate this fucking cellmate who he would just never shut up. He just had to talk and talk and talk about everything. And he just strangles the guy while he's saying it or whatever the fuck he was doing at the time.
He was a great psychotic, man. You know.
Yeah, he was pretty good at being.
My favorite line from that movie is when he tells Jeremy Piven, he's like, you're the type of guy that needs to check his pants every 5 minutes to make sure he's got a dick. You know?
Yeah.
Guess what? I got one.
Yeah. Everlast
like,
was
oh,
in that, wasn't it?
Yeah, and actually, I think he was he?
Yeah, he was one of his henchmen or whatever.
That was a good early 90s movie that was kind of under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, like it was still popular, but like it wasn't really out there. I don't know if marketing fell through or what the hell happened there. But, you know, it was good. I mean, not quite as good as like a cult classic like Office Space that everybody fucking loves, right? You know, totally bombed in the fucking theaters. It was like everybody was like, "What is this shit? And why are we playing it in our theaters? Pull it right away!" And then all of a sudden they were like, "Oh man, look at those DVD sales! Fuck."
Yeah. He definitely, dude. That Mike Judd classic. Yeah. I mean, he crushed it, man. Just crushed it on there.
I was on the other day, man. That shit is still so good.
Oh, it's got so much quotables in it, you know. And anybody who has ever worked in a corporate office knows that Office Space can be spot on so many different levels, on so many different things that go on.
From PC low letter, to mundane details, man. And
right,
in
to the
between,
bobs that are hired in.
Yeah.
To make you know what happens.
Yeah.
You're interviewing for your own job.
They bring the bobs in. They're going to bring in the consultants.
The consultants.
See, you think you're interviewing for your own job, but you're for your job.
Yeah, that guy was funny.
Hey, listen, the Pet Rock, the guy made $1 million.
He made $1 million.
Made $1 million.
I had this jump to conclusion, Matt. This is a horrible idea.
This is horrible. This idea.
Oh, that was great, man. That was so funny. The whole movie was just good.
Yeah, and when you work for different places, right? I know, you came from a very popular startup, right? In your career, like you worked for I don't know if, we can say it, maybe we can.
Probably shouldn't.
Again, a very popular product that is still alive today after they got bought out. Grant Petty, Rotten Hill, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think you can hate on that like that. I should be the one who's
I was gonna say, but
doing the quotes there. But meanwhile, we are using his cameras.
They're good cameras.
They are.
Larry, are these good cameras?
The best.
The best.
This is a Larry comment moment.
This is Gene Simmons from Kiss.
This is Gene Simmons from
Yes,
Kiss.
let's all try our worst impression of.
It's like, who has the best Christopher Walken impression, right?
I had heard from. I remember listening to someone saying that. I don't know if they were saying it was done this way or that they wonder if it was done like this with Christopher Walken, like going through the script and erasing all the punctuation and just applying his own punctuation everywhere. I'm like, and I always can't remember if I'm mixing that up with somebody else talking about. These are just hearsay facts. Like I don't have anything to back this up.
Are these theories?
Wasn't Article
Are these
347?
Are these theories?
I was.
Do we have any evidence? No evidence?
Yeah, no evidence.
Okay. Sorry.
So
no, theories are good. No. Continue.
Hearsay. Whether it was either Christopher Walken that erased all his punctuation or fucking William Shatner.
I could see either way that would apply. Maybe it was both of them.
Yeah. When people, it was Jim Carrey that used to do that. He did it through the whole Ace Ventura thing. When he jumps into the tank and he's like, so far. He just doing those Shatner impressions that were just, over the top.
Man, I used to love Jim Carrey, man. 90s Carrey, early 2000s Carrey was awesome. right?
Yeah, I think he's just he's on a different journey now.
He's
And
he's
it may be
still-
a better journey. It
he's still
may
a good
not
actor.
be. That's just his journey.
still a good actor, in certain situations.
I don't know. I haven't.
I think Fun with Dick and Jane was the most recent one that I really liked. Jim Carrey's though, man.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
That one was funny as hell, and it was right up there talking about the Ponzi's thing going on with Enron. I think is what it was based off of, right? Classic comedy where it's like, no, we're doing great, and here's our numbers, and we're going to show the numbers right now, and I'm new on the job, and all of a sudden you just see the stock go pew as he's talking. That shit was so funny.
Yeah.
The one lady gets laid off, and she starts making wheat brownies. Anyway, squirrel moment. Where were we?
Who cares?
We're on the Scott and Rob and Scott, Rott and Scob show.
The Rotten Scob Show.
I don't know if we got a promo or something. Maybe we want to roll. Do we want to? Do we have a Drop Shot live show promo, Larry? If we want to promote, because Larry also, Larry and I do another show. It's really Larry's show that he allows me to help do. Because we love Larry.
Yeah, that sounds like a bunch of Phil talk while Larry is trying to find the clip.
It helps when I know that there has to be clips, and then I can arrange.
This
all
is-
the-
see,
here it
this is-
comes.
yeah, we
Here it
talked
comes.
about this.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah, can we
arrange
roll
it.
that up, WL? graphic?
Yeah,
It's
because
all
it's going to happen right
planning.
about now, sir.
Well, hold on.
It's
How long
called
did it take? We are
planning.
53 minutes almost into the live stream, at least on the Facebook counter here.
And here it comes.
took longer than. What did we say last night? Do we have any bets on that, Rob? Did we say it was going to take 10 minutes or 15 minutes for Larry to bust our balls and no script?
Not even a script. How about
You know
a
what?
plan?
Hey, you know what?
A plan. Oh, a plan.
I
of
got a
attack.
plan. I got a plan.
You
Hit
guys should-
record.
You guys should
Hey, I got a
figure
plan.
some stuff out.
Record.
Okay.
Just hit record. That's all we need. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Completely unscripted.
Oh, wait.
Script
I
completely.
can't find all the good ones.
We did have a script.
Where's all the good ones?
It's
Scott?
in the
I know
drive,
where
Larry.
good ones-
Get the
I know-
script.
I know where the drive
You know,
is.
Lots of content.
I know.
It was a script.
Lots of
We had a
content.
script.
If we could just roll something, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
But while
I had to
Larry,
search around for a while and go, oh, yeah, it was a shell
but while
script.
Larry's doing that, I just had a thought, man. Bacon pancakes sound so good right now, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, maybe applewood smoke
Yeah.
bacon pancakes,
Fresh coat of butter on top of
dude.
it.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean,
A little warmed syrup.
yeah. Well, it's almost got to be like boiling hot syrup, man.
No. Just warmed.
Just warm.
Let's not take this too far, Scott. Just warmed.
Bacon pancakes. God, that jingle makes me want pancakes even more.
Where
Hey,
did you
I never
find-
thought I would say
where
the
did you
words,
find
we
that
have a
jingle?"
yummy sponsor.
Yeah, no, that's a quite yummy sponsor, Rob. And with that, we're going to allow Larry to keep searching for a new clip, or at least switch on something else. But I'll tell you what.
We could throw out some cool stuff that Scott found when he was building out logo sets, things like that.
Oh, what was that?
Here's an example of something that looked pretty cool. Hang on.
Oh, yeah.
So this will be
Well, this could be
Larry's
what-
example.
Other things that we're rolling, other things that we can do for customers for Drop Shot. If somebody wants to or need to, maybe create some content, and you want to talk to some people that are doing it, maybe doing it well or not, but either way, doing it. We know a few things about a few things: logos, live streaming, weddings, recitals, God forbid funerals.
Larry's ending the show.
Larry's got something going on.
No, this
This
Oh,
is
this
Larry
is- oh,
ending
this
the
is
show.
Intro.
This is the intro to the show. He's playing the intro. Nah, but that's cool. That's actually a new one. We just made that one last night.
I know.
It's called Fire Intro.
I don't want to. I don't want to wear it out.
I don't want to wear it out either, but but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That was the original one before putting in the other
Logo
stuff,
there.
the logo and the text and
Some type
stuff.
of cool shit.
Yeah. Oh no. Well,
Uh,
at least illicit.
you know,
Might
I
not be,
mean,
it might be cool. Cool's relative, man. I mean, there might be some people younger than me that
Well-
are like, "What is this shit? What are these
Well,
guys
they're-
talking about?"
yeah, like
Like, who the
Your-
fuck are you?
your
Why do I
age and
care,
your age and younger is going to look at that and go, "What kind of '80s metal looking shit is
Yeah.
that?"
I'm like, what is this shit going on here?
Look at the font. What is that, Gothic something?
Well, it's kind of funny. how that works out. The generational thing. You know, there's actually 3 generations in this studio right now, kind of broken up evenly a little bit, right? You know, I'm 38. Rob,
Yeah.
you're. We could be 50 soon, right, man? I don't want to spoil the news, but you know,
Yeah.
you'll be 50 soon, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of big news, bro. You know,
Spoil the
you
news.
should.
I don't want to be
fucking say-
50, man.
Nah, no, yeah, I know. I don't want to be 40, man.
I gotta fold my arms and scowl.
Yeah, I don't want to be 40, but I think that's another thing. You know, you just kind of you look back every decade and you're like, fuck, what happened?
Well, what's funny
What
was
happened
when
in the last 10 years,
when
you know?
when you don't realize it, you know, it's like when you're walking in Publix and you're like, yeah, man, they're just jamming a soundtrack here, you know. You're like really digging the songs that they're playing. Then you realize, holy fuck, I'm old. Like I like the music that's in the grocery store. What's going on
Grocery store
here?
music is for me.
Exactly.
Oh shit, I've crossed over.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think that's one of many defining moments. But you just don't realize it's coming up on you, and you'll make these references to stuff of your teenage years or stuff like that, and you just have these people just like
What?
they're just blinking. They're like, "Sorry, don't have the reference, sir." Yeah. I had it one night with a bunch of people at work at one time, and we were all in the same room, and then I started talking about something, and I was like, yeah, so-and-so would know. And they're like, yeah, no, I really don't have a frame of reference for that. That's a little past. That's a little before my time. And I was just like, ugh, that kind of hurt.
I know my definitive moment, exactly what you're talking about, okay? Last job, all right?
Yeah.
Working for a startup. I was older than the guy that was hired on after me, right?
Yeah.
By almost a decade. And he comes in.
Kind of like me and you.
And just to kind of, well, exactly, right? A decade. But he's still kind of young, you know? And I was like, all right. I was like, well, look, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to do first litmus test. I'm going to play some music he's got to know. This kid's got to know this, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when I was 18, and I was like, don't call me a fucking kid, bro. Right? You know?
Stop. You had a test for this guy?
I did.
Okay, so then that means when you first met me and we worked together, you had to have a test for me.
I had to have a test, right? No, exactly. There's
So
always,
I've been tested?
Yeah. There's always a test. Yeah. Really, it was the movie quotes, man. Right?
Yeah, but
here's
immediately
my-
fell into that.
And here's my thing. The movie quote thing wasn't really working so well, you know? I just kind of threw out a couple of random movie quotes.
Yeah.
But then the real litmus test was as I played some music, I was like, dude, he's not saying, he doesn't understand any of these movie quotes I'm dropping, right? You know, it was,
Right.
you know, 80s,
Drop down
90s,
some Stevie Wonder and see what the guy
90s
acts
quotes,
like.
right? Yeah, I mean, even some Matrix quote. He knew the Matrix stuff, right?
Yeah.
But no, I played some, what's his name? Jerry Goldsmith, something Goldsmith, the guy that plays the scores, famous composer. But I played him the Star Wars theme is what I played him, right?
Oh,
and I put this on, and I'm
Are you
like,
talking
all right,
about Leonard Bernstein?
no, it's
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, something Goldsmith, Jerry Goldsmith, Michael Goldsmith, something I think.
I have no idea what I'm
Man, I should know this because I love his music. But he also did a lot of other scores. But I played the Star Wars theme, okay? Dun, 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 dun. And he's like, that's like what is that? That's like a Star Trek, right? And I was like, what?
Hey.
What? That what stuff? What did you just say? All right. I said I gave him credit. Star. Okay, you got Star.
Yeah.
All right.
Like-
but then
like
you
you-
totally wrecked everything cool with Star.
It's some kind of science fiction, but you're not really quite.
Star blank. Call
Yeah.
it blank.
And it's
Right?
John
You know?
T.S. Williams.
Williams. Is the
Oh,
name.
wait. That's what it is. Thank you. Not Goldsmith. I was way off on Goldsmith. John Williams.
You
Yeah.
said Jerry Goldsmith.
Jerry Goldsmith. Whatever it was. Yeah.
Some kind of Gold and Smith and thing.
No,
Whatever.
I'm thinking of another guy, but no, no, he's right, absolutely. And he also, I mean, he did the score for like Harry Potter and stuff, like great music. But I played the Star Wars thing, and I was like, damn, man, I think I'm bridging that gap to oldness, man. I'm starting to become old, right? You know?
Yeah.
And then after that, my next sign was, you know, it's kind of like leaning against the wall, man, taking a
Yeah.
leak. Okay, I lean against the wall, taking a leak. I'm like, yeah, that happened about what? When did I start doing that? 35, 36.
I'm fucking fat and old, and I don't lean against the wall. I don't know what's up with that. But I wanted to go back to what you were
top
saying.
heavy or
I wanted to
something.
go back to what you were saying when you played this. When you're playing like that, you know, you're doing a litmus test and you're playing like the Star Wars theme for him. Like, hey, isn't that like Star Trek or something like that? You know, all I can think of while you're telling me this thing is the old cartoons that I used to watch when I was younger, the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show stuff. And it was like Foghorn Leghorn. And he's trying to, I guess, get together with this one hen, so because he doesn't have a place to stay. Or I think that's what the premise of it was. I don't know if I'm mixing two of them together, but he needed a place to stay because his like coop was like bad, like open windows and stuff. And she had a really nice coop, but she's kind of like a little goofy. And then she has a son or a nephew or something.
Chicken hawk?
No, it's not the chicken hawk. It's the kid with the big head, and he's like a genius and stuff. And,
and
he goes,
glasses on him. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, I'll get along with him. Why don't we play baseball? You know, and the kid's like, and he starts eating the ball, and he goes, no, boy, don't eat the ball. You know, like, and he's getting into it, and it's like, and he goes, you know, he turns to the camera, and he looks at the camera, and he goes, there's something kind of about a kid that don't like baseball. You know, and that's all I could think of when you were saying that about the Star Wars thing. There's something kind of about somebody who doesn't know what Star Wars is.
And you know, that's a great example of what we're talking about. Okay, you know, Rob, you have those moments, you visualize that moment, and it takes you back to a very hilarious moment, usually animated, maybe not cartoony, but usually very animated, right? And I mean, look, let's face it, man. At that point, I said, okay, all right, I'm crossing over. You know, and then, you know, yeah, some of the some Cheech and Chong jokes, which I don't know. I'm not fully versed in Cheech and Chong, right? I got exposed a little bit, but even the stuff that I know is falling off, right? To where the younger generation has no idea. They're like, oh, didn't he get like arrested or something? Or,
yeah, you know, a pipe business. Or something?
Yeah, I mean, unless they're heads, then
business?
I mean, you know, the young kids that are heads, they know a little bit more information about that kind of stuff. But I think general litmus test among people that are 10 years younger than me now.
No. My brothers had the records, the albums, records.
Dude, albums? Dude, exactly.
I mean, you're talking a number of generations back now of music media. Yeah.
Like a record.
Exactly. Yeah, it's funny when you get gapped like that, where you're just like, you don't think anything of it. You just make the statement, and then you're just like, and they're all standing there just kind of blinking at you, and like, and sometimes they just like quiet and walk away, you know, and you're like, wow, that was awkward. But, you know, at least some people would be friendly enough to go, yeah, I'm not really getting the reference. It's a little before my time,
like, huh?
Right? And your mind goes right back to like the first time you did that with an old person. They're like, yeah, it's like Dizzy Gillespie or something like that, you know, and you're like,
give it about pow.
And you're like, who? You know? She looks like Anne Hathaway. You know, it's weird. Your mind goes to that moment when you had that, and I'm just like, see, the problem is they expect me to be an adult, and I'm just not.
And you're just not. I mean, that might be at the core of all the problems.
Yeah, that's the problem, I think, with me getting older.
Wait. You make a lot of money? You have no idea what's going on here? You're gone. Well, that and, you know, working the night shift, right? No, working that night shift.
That does drive you a little weird and crazy.
Well, I think it takes a different kind of human to be able to keep it together.
It makes you nocturnal.
You know? It does. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. What's weird though is, you know, you don't want it. I'm not saying it happens to any of them. People that we
There's not anything wrong with that either.
People that we may associate with at any given time, but not frequently.
Loosely based on
night shift people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that any of them have this problem, but you know, it's when the rest of their family starts following their pattern, and it's like they're the excuse for that shitty sleeping pattern. It's like, yeah, I just got the shithole shift, and I'm trying to work this. That's how it started out for me. I was happy to work for who I was working for, and just get the job. But, you know, things happen in life that make things change, and then it became more convenient for that time frame for the outside of my life, you know, and what was going on in that part of my life. It made things more able to be scheduled, let's say, or at least
Schedule.
scheduled.
Habla. Schedule habla.
Habla schedulo. No, I have no
Check
idea.
the tabla. Are we habla? That's a South Park joke.
Squirrel! South Park has done some funny stuff.
South Park did it.
Yeah.
Simpsons did it.
Yeah. The one with Butters as a pimp is just over the top awesome. It's just funny. It's just,
Oh, sorry. You get a stormy cloud.
yeah, you get a stormy cloud.
Hey, see, she gets $3 just for kissing a filler.
Yeah. You see, then you can get the 2-for-1, which is a kiss and a hug.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. They just,
Do you know what I am saying?
yeah. I believe I know what you were saying.
Come on, bitch. Don't you want a new lunchbox?
Oh, God, that's so horrible.
But spot on at the same time. You know, it's that whole life imitating art imitating life thing, or whatever the popular phrase is. But you know what I think? I honestly think that it just is, man. It just is, right? And you can make it what you want most of the time, but a lot of the times when you're trying to make it what you want, situation that we're all in is a little different, but something's going to come and fucking wreck your day. I mean, it comes down to like, I'm making, life happens while I'm making plans kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This famous John Lennon quote.
Yeah.
Paraphrasing.
Whoever,
I don't know if you're
I'm getting
exactly
it right,
saying it
but
right.
you got it. I mean,
yeah.
Rob got it.
Yeah, man.
I
Hey,
think
Rob
what you're
gets it,
trying
Larry.
to say, Scott, is 30% of the time it works 100% of the time.
Bingo.
I think Larry just wanted to say that quote.
Larry, no, but he's exactly right. He came in at a great time. Even though he just interrupted us. But besides all that, I mean, yeah, he came in at a great time.
Word in edgewise.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it usually goes when
FWL graphic.
we were today.
Hey,
Yeah, nah, it ain't happening.
come on.
Oh.
Get some sound effects
Oh,
going.
yeah,
Hey, we don't have them. I'll make them.
Did you say sound effects?
How much are we paying for this?
I don't know.
We're
Either
getting
way,
ripped off.
Hey, either way, I'm getting my money back. There it is.
Yeah, getting ripped
FWL.
off. Oh.
And you just got to fuck with Larry sometimes. I mean,
Yeah.
he's there. He's Lair Bear.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love
Old G Bear.
Lair Bear? Just like a name like that, Lair Bear.
Yeah.
How can you not love him?
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Look at that mustache.
No one does. Don't do it.
What we need to go ahead and
Is
just
more
start.
mustache?
Look, should we go ahead and just put it out there to the one viewer that we might potentially have?
We're gonna put it out there to our.
You know
viewer.
what? Can
Or-
we?
And
maybe
hopefully,
we should,
hopefully he's viewing
Let's
within that 1 minute segment when he
And
first
that
turned
one-
it on. He
that
goes,
one
"What the
piece.
fuck is this?"
perhaps we need to
We're
market
reaching out to you.
a
sir.
Lair Bear prototype with that mustache, with the quintessential Lair Bear mustache.
A prototype,
A
a
prototype.
macaroni
We
prototype,
could start with a macro. There it is. Look at that. Huh?
a prototype. Dude, could
Imagine.
you-
Oh, look up at the camera again. Imagine Ted from the movie. Okay, Ted with that mustache. Adorable. Tell me that's not adorable.
Yeah. It would be funny if you.
No. Let's be honest. That's not Baby Yoda adorable yet. That's not quite to that level, but it's close. It's not
Well,
far.
maybe if it had like a really big head and a small
Yeah.
body.
A huge melon. Huge. He cried himself to sleep tonight on his huge pillow.
Yeah. So I married an ex murder. Great. That one's full of potent quotables.
Haggis.
Oh, the best part about that is, for me anyways, was my grandparents are like from Scotland, like off the boat. Like my mom was the firstborn here in the United States. And like they were just like that. They were, I mean, when I say just like that, they didn't act that way, but they had that same accent, No, they weren't walking around and reading the
Did you grow up
weekly world news and referring to it as the paper.
Right. The papers.
Yeah.
But did you
As
grow up like
the
eating haggis
paper.
and stuff? Did you have any of that growing up?
No, man. They were so poor when they moved over here. My grandfather kind of like left everything and then worked his ass off for a number
Haggis
of
is pretty
years.
cheap, man.
He worked in.
I was gonna say, isn't that how
Ha-
haggis
yeah,
was
hag-
born? It's like, I would have fucking
Yeah.
starving.
I think what it was is everybody was like,
Haggis.
nobody's gonna eat this shit. Give it to those Scottish and Irish fucks.
Yeah.
I think it's what happened.
Probably.
Tell them, convince them that's part of their culture. They got to eat this shit.
All I know is, Scotland's not really known for its cuisine, And to quote him again from that movie, really known for like, headbutting and kicking people while they're down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like-
Tree throwing.
well, one of the funniest.
Street throwing.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect. I just don't know what the name of the sport is. It's a Highlander sport. I just can't think of it right now.
Pole tossing.
Pole tossing sounds worse. That's definitely not it. Let's not say
Yeah. Algorithm might catch that one.
that. Might be okay with it. Who knows? I mean, it's Facebook.
But yeah, they're not really known for that, you know, that kind of stuff. They're, but
Shepherd's
one
pie,
of the
though?
funny
Shepherd's
things
pie.
in that movie was when he shows his dad's Scottish Wall of Fame. It's just two people. It's Jackie Stewart and Sean Connery. I was like, it's just like, and show you how like all low on the totem pole the Scottish.
And if anybody that's watching this and they have no idea
It's
what
a
we're talking about,
scrappy, but it's a scrappy bunch.
So
man.
I married an axe murderer.
Yeah.
Early 91,
Yeah,
2,
so
3.
Mike Myers.
Mike
thing.
Myers. And see, that is where I
And,
see. That's
I
the
can't
movie
remember
where
the
like
female actress that
Shrek,
played in that.
Shrek was born from that movie. If you think about it, right?
Oh yeah,
Shrek was born from that movie.
The part
Austin
of the
Powers,
characters.
like during
Yeah.
that time, I think he was probably coming up with these voices and coming up with these
He
characters
probably,
and things, right?
He probably had that stuff down already.
But I think it kind of exploded
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
because he was very popular on Saturday Night Live during that time.
Yeah,
Did that movie because
I'm-
I think that's a Lorne Michaels
Yeah, I got a little
movie.
something for you, Scott. This is just
So
for
American
you.
Action Murder, I think he produced that.
I don't remember. I don't pay. And I definitely during that time in my life, I wasn't paying attention.
There might have been some hashish involved there.
Yeah, I know. we've
Maybe
got-
some peyote.
Hey, Scott, you want to see your log throwing thing?
I don't
It's
think so,
called-
sir.
Oh, hammer throw.
No, that's not the hammer throw.
The
I
hammer
just saw
throw.
something up
The
there.
one you want is tossing
Yeah.
the caber.
Yes, the
Tossing-
caper. Yes, the caper.
What's tossing the caber
Tossing-
code for?
Tossing the caber. It's tossing. It's
Like-
basically throwing a giant tree trunk
Yeah, it looks
as
like
far
a
as you can.
tossing telephone poles.
Yes,
Yeah.
throwing telephone poles. Yes, pole tossing. Didn't you say the pole tossing?
You were there, Rob.
Right, hold on. That looks an awful lot like pole tossing to me. Well, it's because it is, but it's called tossing the caper.
So what'd you do this weekend? Let's get him toss his pole.
Yeah,
That
This-
just sounds
this is-
wrong.
And this is a thing, man.
That's the thing.
This is a pretty big thing that happens throughout the year. I mean, it's a big sport.
There's
People are
that.
training all year.
There's
for this
that.
shit.
And don't they take one where they have like a log or a stone or something like that, and they
Yeah.
actually toss it over their
They've
back?
got the hammer throw.
Yep, the hammer throw.
Yeah.
Right, so you're throwing the
that
hammer,
one made it
and
into
then
the
they
Olympics.
do the shot put.
They got a weight. It's
You-
called weight for height.
Yeah, that wasn't probably the best model to choose for that picture.
Tug of
With
war.
the statement underneath it. Go back to that, Larry. Go back to that. Yeah. Okay. Not the best model when you say wait for height.
Waiting.
to be showing there.
Hey, preparing to wait, waiting.
Looks like a rotund gentleman.
Is that a rotund, gentleman?
Yes.
That's
It
a
didn't say rotund
Is it-
for height.
short
Rotund.
rotund.
Hey, I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore.
Highland
And
Games.
tug of war.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was it.
Tug of war.
That was
Yeah.
it.
A lot of intelligence going into those sports.
Well, and
Throw something.
that's why
something.
sort of being a representation, Rob and I, from that culture. I love the movie Brave, Disney movie Brave.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was
Awesome
good.
fucking
Are you
movie,
saying
right?
that only because you have kids?
No, not because it was a good movie. Actually, I
Well,
mean,
it goes back to when
it's-
my daughter was that age.
I mean, it's just a great film.
yeah, I thought it was funny. I thought it was really
You know?
funny.
Of course, they got the life lessons. There's all that Disney MK Ultra probably programming that's in it and stuff like that. I mean, you got to be aware of that when you let your kids watch it. But great story, cool visuals. I thought it was very well done. And they threw some gingers in there. And being a ginger, I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. And I can say
Yeah.
ginger. So
Yeah.
can you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter would kind of fit that Meredith look as a kid.
When she was young, she had that Meredith hair, didn't she? It
Well,
was like
yeah.
really,
When we went to
really young.
Disney and at one point, and they were, we were at the Magic Kingdom, and she wanted to meet the princesses, and they had this whole thing with Meredith. Like a
To meet the princess thing.
right. Yeah. You
I'm
do it
familiar,
all.
man. Yeah.
And it was coming in, and
To meet
you
the princess
and you
prototype.
shoot this like she holds the kid and pulls back this like it's like this
bow.
harmless arrow. thing.
It's just my boo.
Yeah, and you shoot this plastic, super safety, non-harming thing to try and shoot through the thing. She shot through all the loops, and she was like, and of course, this woman who is dressed as Meredith, right? And then there's this little girl who has the red curly hair, long, and it looked similar like that, and of course likes that princess. She was like, that woman who was playing that part just totally took to her like right away.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good experience. Yeah, it was definitely cool. I've always had a good time at Disney parks.
I've been once. We took the kids. Hazel was still a baby, but Caroline.
That's rough. Rough going around with a baby.
Baby was tough, man. You know, it's just
And when the kids are really younger.
Yeah,
it's when they get older.
Mikhail was like a prime age, kind of.
It's that midway, right? Like, because they're thrilled enough to try and get on those rides, but not so young, not so old that they're just like, what are we doing here? Like that kind of.
This sucks.
Yeah,
we'll go back to the hotel.
Yeah, exactly. Well, which I did too. I'm not gonna
I want to go back to the hotel pool. This sucks.
Well,
I can't get any beer at the Magic Kingdom, Mom.
So how many kids and baby strollers did you have at a time going to?
We had 3 strollers.
Okay.
And 3 kids.
Yeah.
So
Caroline was old enough to sit in one of the strollers. The other stroller had the baby Hazel at the time when she was little, and then the third one was bags and shit and towels and ponchos and whatever else.
So who was pushing
all the wares? It was, my mother-in-law went with us, so mother-in-law Sandy,
imposition only
wife Michelle, and myself. Yeah. It was fun. We stayed at a hotel around the corner. We didn't do staying on that damn rat. Man, he's a gangster, that son of a bitch, man. Mickey, that bastard. I tell you, he's got a great racket down there. I don't know what it's like since COVID. And all this mask shit that they got going on now and handing out vaccines at the door. I don't know anything about that. But when I went, it was a finely tuned machine of just income draining proportions. I mean, it was just massive. I mean, $12, $13 balloons and, $15, $18,
go into
milkshakes and all this other shit, right? But you're there. It makes sense.
Okay, when you went...
I'm a little jealous. I'm not upset at him for the idea. I'm just upset at him good at first.
Wait a minute. When you went... Did you book everything? Like, did you stay in a Disney resort or any of that stuff?
No, we did.
Okay. So you did what my parents did, and what I used to do when I was a teenager, and we would pile in car and go. You did the Bataan Death March. So you showed up as early as you possibly could, and got yourself a hotel and a room for the following night. Booked that, and then went to the park and just went there the entire day. Make sure I'm going to ride everything twice if I can, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And you go through that whole thing, and then, man, and by the end of the day, you're like, trying to get back to the car. The relaxing moment is when you get on that stupid tram thing that takes you out to the ginormous parking lot that they have, right? It takes you out to where your car is, right? And that's the moment, and that's the moment that you're like relaxing, right? When you're getting out there, you get out there, you go back to this hotel, you all just collapse, and if you're there for the next day, it's to wake up early in the morning, go back there, and
rinse and repeat.
Yeah, right. And it's like, okay, so different experience. When I was a kid growing up, the people who lived next door, they always went to the. I mean, I'm talking this when I was much younger, like just around the teenage years or just before it, right? These people always went to the Disney Resort, right? Like they always stayed.
Thing, right?
Yeah, they stayed at the Polynesian, the whatever the other one is.
Highfalutin bastards.
The Polynesian are
whatever the other one is. Yes,
you
can
sauce.
Repeat what I fucked up.
Polynesian sauce.
That's
from
always
Chick-fil-A.
the Grand Floridian, the Dolphin.
Yeah, but they didn't have all of that. I'm talking about these neighbors, and this is like late 70s, early. Well, this is probably early 80s.
I heard
the Contemporary. Yeah, that's been there. And the Polynesian definitely, and probably the Grand Floridian.
You're from Boca. You should know that one. The
Boca?
Maybe.
Boca? You're a Boca guy? I thought you were a Coral Springs guy.
But they would always go stay there, and they would say how wonderful it was and all this other stuff. And you go with my parents and go on those things. It's the Bataan Death March. I'm not paying those high prices in their hotels. You're just sleeping there anyways, right? So into my latter life, I'm working pretty well. Things are going okay. So I figure, you know what? We'll hold off for a year and we'll save up, and then we're going to take the vacation. Actually, through Disney, we're going to see, go to I've always wanted to do that. I have the opportunity to do that now with my kids. They're the right age. Let's do that. So we stay.
That damn Rett, I'm telling you, Mickey.
No, we booked everything through. You end up booking directly through them, right? And we got everything. I'll be honest, it was expensive. Don't get me wrong, but it was very relaxing, very easygoing. When you're in a hotel that's on the property. Okay.
There's something to be said for that. I agree.
They pretty much come get you out of bed and take you on your
tour.
tour.
It's going to cost you a buttload of money no matter what you buy.
For that kind of service, it makes sense.
No matter what you buy when you're there, it's like, oh, you're going to have the breakfast. Well, the breakfast isn't free. We have a restaurant in the hotel down by the monorail that goes through the hotel, right?
Yeah, well, that's
literally, you get out of bed and you go from the Contemporary. You just go. I mean, it is literally like, we are now at the Kingdom. You're like, oh, wait. It's literally like 5 minutes. So at the middle of the day, when you're going when nobody wants to go in hot summer, you're in there like late July, early August or something, and no one wants to be there because it's hot as hell. You could break off at, I don't know, 12, 1 o'clock, go back to the hotel, get yourself something to eat for lunch, put on your bathing suits, go down to the pool area, relax a little bit, cool off, go back up, take a nap, then
wake up, go back to it.
Yeah, and then go back to the. It's more leisurely and relaxing. And then you go back to the Kingdom, and now it's like you have these Disney magic. Or at least this is what they did back when we went there, right? You have these Disney magic hours that people who just paid for a ticket don't have. So they have to leave by whatever time they said. Forgive me if I quoted it wrong. I think it was like 10 o'clock or something like that.
You're not forgiven.
They have to get out of the park.
Did you say it wrong? You're unforgiven.
But if you're staying on the now this counts for any of the Disney properties, but when you're staying on the property like that, you can leave at 3.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't silence my phone.
Well,
hey,
I do
don't know them.
I do remember going and doing exactly that, right? We actually had a hookup at a hotel. It was like a Hilton or something around the corner, so we stayed there.
Yeah.
Got there early, stayed all day, did as long as we could.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed at the Magic Kingdom the first 2 days, and then the third place we went to was Hollywood Studios. All day thing, right? And that is the relaxing part of, dude, you wake up, take your time. There's no rush. You don't have to take everything with you. You leave stuff back at your room and all that.
Yeah.
That convenience is definitely what you're paying for, man. No question.
Oh yeah. And when you realize that, it's like what I was talking about earlier about working on the car.
But
when you get to that point with the car, it's like, okay, well, if I work on it, am I going to have to buy specialized tools? Am I going to? Is there certain places where it's like it's going to take me 2, 3, or 4 times as long as it would take a mechanic to do because I'm not familiar with it, and I have to do a little research and go slower because he's done this 100, 150 times. Mm-hmm. I'm doing it for the first time or the second time or whatever it is.
And sometimes those things are worth the money because they don't. It's worth the money to save you the time.
You
to
look
save
at how
you
much
the
you
stress.
make currently and say, is it easier for me to just put in, is to work, and save a little bit longer? Just have somebody else do this, right?
Because when you go on vacation, man, the last thing you want to do is be kind of stressed out, right?
Yeah.
You end up always being stressed out in some kind of way, regardless, right? Like one of the best shirts that I saw when I was at Disney. Family had their family shirts on that they had made, right? Yeah. Everybody's shirt said best day ever, even Grandpa. The only shirt that didn't say that was
the father's
Dad's.
shirts.
And it said most expensive day ever. And I was like,
I could even guess that was happening.
Oh, yeah. I said, that makes so much sense. I said,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he's the one that's got like kids hanging off of him, the whole time. Yeah, he's got all the bags and all this shit. And I'm like, it really is about that.
Yeah, but you accept that when you go to those things because especially with the wife and kids.
Yeah.
Well, because the wife is watching them all day long, every day. You know, depending upon how your household is set up. But for me, that's how it was. So it's like you kind of expect them to be hanging on you and everything else like that. You know, but it's unusual. It's not usual for you, right? If it's not
It's unusual to be loved by anyone. Oh, sorry. We're getting the wrap up signal from the producer.
Yeah.
Wrap up.
Yeah.
Is he telling us what to do again?
The money tab has run out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So we got
Bacon pancakes ain't paying
we got
for shit
chastised
no
for
more.
for no script, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chastised for no script.
Being unprepared.
Not even talking.
I mean to a pilot. Okay.
So-
to a pilot.
Pilot.
A pilot.
It's not really a
Right,
lot
like-
of script and acting in there, so I don't know if we can actually call it a pilot.
It's improv. You put a little E on it. Improve.
Yeah.
That's what you got here.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? Wait,
Golf clap.
Okay, we go from this to.
I liked it. It was pretty cool. I was digging it. At the end, I had to pee so bad.
Larry got to do his thing, you know. He got to bust our balls a little bit. I know he
thought it
likes
was kind of good.
Larry loves busting balls.
Busted balls.
So what you just witnessed is an act of futility. These two idiots
Is he going unscripted?
really tried to do a show.
I'm not saying it's fucking space aliens, but it goes without saying. It's fucking space aliens.